Right, so Ark Survival Evolved is a game which definitely I specialize in on the channel. But as an Ark YouTuber, I wanted to ask the question, what do I actually think of Ark? And although I've given some of my opinions before, I just want a more general, broad discussion of what I think of the game, and I want you to comment down below what you think of the game because I'm very interested as well. Now, by standards, Ark Survival Evolved is definitely not a new game, but there is a lot to talk about, and I don't think I've talked about it openly on the channel and my true opinions of it. So let's just get straight into it. There's no point procrastinating. Ark Survival Evolved is a very expansive sandbox survival game, and there is a lot of good which could be said about the game. Truly, it is full of features, full of dinosaurs, and full of great things. It is a truly great premise for a game. A survival sandbox game with loads and loads of dinosaurs. And after Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, whatever your favorite dinosaur movie is, who doesn't want to play a game with loads of dinosaurs? Again, the dinosaur phase, you look at these children and they're playing with their dinosaurs. The dinosaur phase never ends, truly, and I still stick to that. I can truly say that I love Ark as a game, but I love it differently from how I used to, if you get what I mean. I think of it with a lot more nostalgic feelings now than obviously when I started playing, but that is pretty self-explanatory after all. And I don't actually play the game as much. I sort of act for it as a treat. I do play the game a lot, technically, but that's for recording videos, and I'm not going to count that. But there is a Patreon series, an Ark Patreon series, which is coming. So if you do want to see me do an Ark series, then there will be a poll at some point for the map for the Patreons. And then if you go over to the Patreon, you'll be able to watch it there. It's never going to come out on YouTube. If you want it, go subscribe to the Patreon. Either way, right, I play Ark very rarely on, my own terms when I'm not recording a video. And when I'm recording a video, it's usually just recording B-roll. It's not really playing, apart from the occasional Let's Play that I've done. But I haven't really done any of those since ASA released, and it's been a while since then. But I sort of act Ark as a treat, essentially. I think of it as a treat. Whenever I've got time and I'm feeling good, I just hop on Ark and enjoy the good times. Never with other people, really. Occasionally, a friend of mine will jump on and we got a world together on the island. I've been playing that occasionally, but we haven't really done any of that since June, and it is September when I'm recording this and when I'm releasing this. So, it's been a little while since I played with anyone else, but that's totally fine. And I think Ark is a great game to enjoy by yourself. If you do not have friends, or just no one else has Ark and you have it, it is a truly great game to experience yourself. Just explore. There are so many maps out there, and so many free maps for that matter, that you've got tons and tons of hours of just pure exploring time ahead of you. At least that's what I think for it as. I always like when a new map comes out to sort of rush and finish it as soon as possible, or at least I used to, but now I don't really tend to do that at all, and I really just want to enjoy the map for as long as possible. As when I've completed it, I sort of want to move on to the next thing. But it depends. If I really like the map, I'll just come back to it and just keep playing it and getting more breeding mutations going and getting all of that stacking up, and literally spending hours and hours on things and then doing the boss again and seeing how much easier it is. And I love little challenges like that, and I always like challenging myself a little bit in the game. I feel like that is where the game really works for me, and it's where it's really open to choice. Ark Survival Evolved gives you so many options out there. Like, really, this game allows you to play it in basically any way you want. Essentially, a Zelda game does the same thing as well. Although it is a little bit tighter on the open world ones, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, you've got a lot more freedoms there. But with Ark, I feel like you've got even more freedom as you can interact with all of those creatures. And although maybe not all of them are tameable, you can still get a fair few of them done. And most of them can be tamed with fish traps for the smaller, insignificant ones as well. There are so many creatures out there to tame though. Some which are just awful and are not worth taming. They really need TLCs though. Wildcard, give these creatures TLCs. I'm talking like Aranios, leeches, why not, Dimetrodons, all of that stuff. I feel like they could do a little bit of TLC, but there are some great creatures as well, and some which are just mid. Although not traditionally designed for PvP, you can say a game like Rust is very much PvP orientated. Ark still is decent in the PvP space, although with all the cheaters and hackers, there is, maybe not the best state at the moment, but still, if you do want to enjoy that PvP experience, you definitely can if you want to, and there are some good times to be had there. But I tend to stick to the PvE side of things. I'm very much a PvE player. I barely even touch PvP. Did a few years ago, haven't really touched it since, and prior to that, a few years ago, I was playing basically exclusively PvP, but I've moved on now as I sort of have a much more peaceful, passive approach to my gaming sessions. I still like to chill out a bit more. I don't want to be stressing over things. I just want to be relaxing and enjoying myself a lot more, and I feel like PvE is just where it sits for me, and I really like that. I was also really sad that survival of the fittest is no longer a thing anymore. Obviously, they introduced it to ASA. I was excited. Then I couldn't really run it very well, my 2060 Super, so I upgraded to a 3090, and then I could run it properly. But then they got rid of it. And I know that is PvP, player versus player, but it's done in such a nice way that that is sort of enjoyable and quite relaxing as well, especially if you've got some friends with you. And it is really sad that they took it down and it is no longer there anymore, because Survival of the Fittest, really, it was done up and it was made a really enjoyable experience. They put loads of effort into designing a new version of it, and then simply it just got thrown out, and it is now no longer playable, because obviously all the servers are down in the Survival of the Fittest game, and on ASA all the servers are not there either, and there's not even an option for Survival of the Fittest because it's Bob's Tall Tales now. No offense to Bob's Tall Tales, but I think Survival of the Fittest is more important than you and deserves the spot a little bit more than you. Really sad that that went. Also, in terms of my ASA opinions, I don't look the fondest on the game, and I know loads of people watching my videos absolutely love ASA and they want all the ASA stuff, and then some people are like, hey, why aren't you doing ASA content? I don't really like it as much as ASE. I'm sorry, but that is the reality. I'm the one making the content here. While I will touch up on ASA now and then, it's not even installed on my computer at the moment because I just don't even touch it. And also, just ASE is where it's at for me. I'm creating the videos. I want to make videos that I enjoy creating. Otherwise, I get bored, and I don't make enjoying videos, in my opinion, and I don't like them. And that is why I don't do much ASA stuff. That's why I ended the ASA series, because it was just really boring for me, and I did not like it at all. But Survival Evolved is where it's at. Ascended, I'm sorry, it just doesn't have the right feel for me. The characters are goofy. I do not like them. The game is still littered with performance issues and bugs. The maps have had some of the details cut out of them as well, especially on Scorched Earth. I can't remember what cave it is, but the one out on where the church is in the middle of the desert. Like, it's basically just a concrete cube now, and there was all of that nice design and architecture in Survival Evolved. There is just so much that could have been better with ASA. I know they're improving the game, and I wish Wildcard all the best with ASA. It is just not the game for me. But I am curious to see what Ark 2 is like. Now, the thing about Ark 2 is it is slightly controversial, of course, because, you know, considering everything, Ark 2 is not a sandbox survival game. It's going to be a Souls-like combat game. It's a little bit of a different step for the franchise, but I think I might quite enjoy it. I don't know. The game is not released yet, and no one really knows, apart from a few people which just absolutely hate Souls-like combat games. You're really not going to like Ark 2. And, you know, you can stick to ASA or ASE. Just you do you. But I want to see what Ark 2 is like, and I'm excited for it. And I sort of hope you're excited for it too. Even though it's a bit of a different step, maybe it's a breath of fresh air that we need. And I think you might like it as well. If you get into it, maybe you get into it, you think of it as a different experience, I think it could be quite enjoyable. But anyway, that is all that I have to talk about. They are my general Ark opinions. Love the game. Don't really like ASA so much. I'm looking forward to Ark 2 and seeing what new experience it brings. Again, if you disagree or agree with any of the opinions I've given in this video, then comment your thoughts down below. I'm always down to a bit of debate and discussion, as long as you keep it respectful. And if you want to check out my Patreon, there's all kinds of other content there, uncut versions of the videos. And within the next few weeks, you'll start to see that Ark Let's Play go on the Patreon as well. Patreon exclusive. It's going to be fully uncut. It's just going to be an hour every week of just me playing Ark. And if you want to hang out with me there, then you can. Anyway, that's all, and I'll see you all later. Bye. Now, of course, we must shout out our Patreons, Ekaterina Puchkova and Karina Thorne, who are our paid Patreon members at the moment. Thank you for all your support. I really appreciate everyone on this list. Everyone else is, of course, free members. Thanks for the support, though.